This morning, we are joined with a remarkable guest. Joining us this morning is Patricia Bevan, and we're going to be talking about a transformative and healing journey open to men and women called the Rachel's Vineyard Retreat. Rachel.
Not
Rachel
really.
was on my mind. Good morning, Patricia. How are you?
Good morning, Natasha. I am just fine and thrilled to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us this morning and to learn a lot about this retreat that's being offered, because it sounds like something that is transformational, not just for individuals, but for families and for communities as well.
Of course.
So,
as you said, for families and communities, because the people who are going to be at the retreat, they, of course, have an influence on everyone around them. And if they are healed, if they can get this transformation, of course, it translates to everyone around.
It does. So tell us a little bit about Rachel's Vineyard, what it offers, and where these retreats have taken place.
Okay, what the retreat offers is a healing for women and men who have had abortions, and as we say, they suffer the trauma of the abortion. When a woman has an abortion, she loses a baby. Now, if we look at it that when any woman loses a child, she's unconsolable. But the entire community supports her through that grieving, strangers. But a woman who has had an abortion, that is usually done in secrecy, and there is the shame about what I have done. And even those who feel that there's nothing wrong, the fact is there is a great loss. There is a loss of a child. And if that loss is not grieved, then what happens? That pain is suppressed. And the suppressing of that pain means it is going to come out in other ways.
Definitely.
And we see it in rage, anger, isolation, difficulty in having relationships, suicidal thoughts, nightmares, a myriad of symptoms.
So what does Rachel's Vineyard offer to those who have been through this experience?
What they offer is a healing journey of where we use creative scriptural exercises and rituals to then help that person come to the finding of why they're having these problems, and then working through those in a very supportive and non-judgmental environment.
So two of the things that you've mentioned so far is secrecy and a non-judgmental environment, which I know for many would be a point of concern because, of course, confidentiality is a massive deal, and also the fact that this is actually something illegal in many countries. So what guarantee do you have for those who are interested in taking part?
Okay. We offer complete confidentiality. I mean, this is worse than what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens there, everyone who comes in, we assure them of the confidentiality. You have to sign something. And honestly, what happened, there's a team that supports the women who come in there. And this is their whole, they're committed to helping. And as such, they hold that confidentiality very seriously. Now, the participants coming, yes, we know how they feel coming in there. But when you realize that everyone who comes there has the same feeling, they are also interested in keeping that confidentiality of each other.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned there's a team to support the women, but I know that this is also open to men. So what about those supporting the men as well?
Well, the retreat is open to women and men because we know that men do also have the effects of an abortion. So whatever is done for the women, it's a small group. It's not, the major mega retreat. We have like about 6 to 8 participants, and we go through the rituals, we go through the healing scriptures, and you are nurtured throughout that whole weekend. It's a very intense weekend, male or female. We have, if you're a grandmother who has had an abortion or have been, encouraged someone to have an abortion, and then you are feeling the effects of it afterwards. So it's anyone, male or female, who have had that abortion and is suffering the effects of it. Sometimes people are not even fully aware of why.
Yeah.
You know, they know that they're having all these difficulties, they're carrying that around with them, and this is the time. We see some when they come in on a Friday afternoon, because the retreat starts on Friday afternoon at 5.
Okay.
When they come in, when the participants come in, you can see their body language. It's almost like you can see them carrying that burden. There's difficulty, you know, making eye contact.
Right.
And we have that fight or flight syndrome.
Yes.
And once you get there, we make sure that you are comfortable and know that, no, we are here to support you.
So,
and by the time they leave on a Sunday,
you
we're
see
ready
the joy.
to you see it. You see it.
That's beautiful to hear. Now, as a retreat facilitator, you would have seen, I'm assuming, over the course of Rachel's Vineyard, some of those transformations. How does that make you feel? Good.
It's an experience and a feeling that, I guess if you're a doctor and you've healed someone of a real disease, something that they've been carrying for a long time, yes, that's the feeling. And it's felt throughout the community.
Yeah.
So that if that person that has come in there carrying that burden, now they go out. Now, you see the effect of it on the others.
And that's beautiful that you're going to be able to actually see that domino effect through society as well. Now, I know it's open to men and women, but one of the things, of course, I know this is Catholic-centered.
Yes.
Is it open to those who are not Catholics?
Anyone.
Wonderful.
We've had atheists come in.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Because it's non-judgmental.
Yeah.
We're not proselytizing. We're not preaching. We're not condemning you.
Yeah.
And that's the whole basis. It's so that you know that you are loved, that you God has not forsaken you. So even if you don't believe in God, but that if you feel it's the universe, whatever you think, you are not abandoned.
Now, just to contribute to the success of this retreat, I know, as we mentioned earlier before we started the interview, that this is the 8th time it's taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, but it also takes place abroad as well.
It's the most used internationally. It's in over 80 countries, in 40, 50 languages, and I mean, it started back in 1976. Dr. Theresa Burke realized that most of her female patients who she was treating for all the symptoms I mentioned, they had one common bond, and that was they had suffered an abortion or abortions. So she did research on it and recognized, that's when she came out with the fact that these women are suffering post-traumatic abortion syndrome.
Definitely. Well, Patricia, before we go, could you share contact information for the retreat with us?
Right. The retreat, as we said, is going to be held this weekend. And it's at the Catholic Charismatic Renewal Center, Frederick Settlement in Caroni. You can reach me directly on 868-764-8888. That's easy enough to remember, 764-8888. And I would look forward to chatting with anyone, even if not for this retreat, but we do hope to have another one in September. So now is the time to call.
Now is the time to call. Thank you so much, Patricia. We appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you continue to do that transformative work through Christ.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to the Now Morning Show. There is a lot more coming up that you do not want to miss.